Hello here and welcome here on YouTube and welcome to this stitched circle show challenge. And today it is week 6. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look at the playlist and look for week 1, and there I will explain everything about what this challenge is about. But shortly, it's about doing a circle with some different or a few dogma rules to get you going. And under the video, under more, the little word more, click on that and it will reveal the comments I have put there, and there you can find the link to the playlist, and you can also find a link to this book here I have made, where I put all my weekly challenges in. It is not about making the cover, the fabric of the cover, but it is about making the cover itself, and how I made these 2 journals with a very simple pamphlet stitch. You can see in this video. And I have made so many pages, 52 pages, because I'll do a thing every week on every side on both sides of the paper. That was just a short explanation for that. But look at week 1, and there I will tell you everything about what this project is about. If you're new here, a warm welcome. And I can say my name is Lisbeth, and I'm a mixed media artist who likes to do all sorts of things. I'm Danish, so my English is what it is, but hopefully you can understand what I'm saying and see what I'm doing. Oh, what else do I want to say here? Yeah, I think we should get started and not all this talking here. But this was where I left you in week 5. So I will put this away and we can start and can tell you what this week's Dogma Rules is. So the first rule for this week 6 here, and I'm sorry, perhaps it sounds a little more difficult than it is in reality, but I will have to say it anyway. But as a substrate, you will have to use a kind of watercolor paper, or perhaps if you don't have that, a piece of cardstock. And to help you poke holes later, you need a pad of paper like this with small squares in. I think the squares are they 1/2 centimeter perhaps? Yeah, they are 1/2 centimeter. So you need a sheet of that also. So a watercolor paper or cardstock and a sheet of this. That is for your substrate. Then you need some paint, and I have decided to use watercolor. If you don't have watercolor, paint with whatever you have of colors or mediums. And the color is totally up to you, but you have to use the same color as you would choose your threads in, but make it much lighter. So it has to be a light color of the color, the same color as you choose your threads in. And I have decided to use this one here, I think. And for thread, oh my, here is sliding around. And for thread, I have decided to use these 3 things here. They are nearly the same, but not quite the same. A thicker, a medium, and that is just ordinary machine sewing thread. But they are 3 different thicknesses. But it's the color it's about here. This color and this color matches. Yeah. And since since this is about circles, we will have to draw a circle here and a circle on that paper, and I will show it to you when we come to the work. So 2 circles in this paper, a light color wash of some kind on the watercolor paper, at least 2 different darker kinds of threads in thicknesses compared to about the same color as you choose. And then when we have done that, we have to draw a pattern here on this square paper. And the reason why I've come to think of doing it like this is because I have been cleaning up in some of my papers from when I was a child, when I went to school, and once a week we have where we were drawing and painting just 1 hour a week or so, and everything we made that year was put into a file folder, and I have been looking through them, and I found these pieces here, and I think that was what got me thinking about this here square things. And I can see I have made them when I was in the 6th grade, and I think I was 6 when I started in school, so I have been about 11 or 12 years when I made these. And that was what made me think of doing something on this paper here. So when you have drawn some kinds of patterns, we will, on this paper here, we will use it to poke holes into the watercolor paper. I will write these things here below under more, so it is easier for you to see what it is I'm doing or what I'm meaning, but it is quite simple when we start doing it. So let us do that. So the first thing I want to do is paint this paper here, and I will just be using my watercolor, but use any kind of paint you have, but it has to be a light color so you can see the stitching afterwards. Don't choose black so you can't see your stitches afterwards. So it's more like a wash, you can call it. And I'll just make it so big so my circle can be cut out afterwards from this piece here. That isn't very difficult to do, to paint a piece of paper like this. And I know I will be using this size, and I can see it fits there. But yeah, so I will let this dry, and then we can do the next step. Away with the paint and the brush and the water. Yeah, my watercolor paper isn't still dry, so we can start to make the circle on the square paper. And the circle you have to draw or trace on the square paper has to be a little smaller than the circle you will draw and cut out on the watercolor paper, just about half a centimeter or so. But since my book is about 15.5 by 16 centimeters, I have chosen to use my hoop here because this is about 13 centimeters So, and I think that would look nice on the page. But you can do it in any sizes you want. There just have to be a difference between this circle and the circle on the watercolor paper. This has to be half a centimeter smaller. So, and you can use a compass to draw your circles. You can use these kinds of tin plates, and you can go to your kitchen and find some plates in different sizes perhaps. But I will see if I can line this up the best I can here. And I will draw inside the inside of my hoop like this. And then I would cut this circle out. Oops, it is flying away here. By the way, it was so funny looking at all the things I have been drawing and painting while I was from 1st grade to 6th or 7th grade. It is a little funny. I have always had something about turtles, and every year I have drawn the same drawing with turtles walking on the beach and some palm trees. And as an adult, it is many years ago, I had 2 turtles, alive turtles, as pets. That was quite funny. Yeah. Now I have this circle here, and I think I will bring you in closer. And here it is the meaning you should draw your patterns. And you could do that many ways, but yeah, I think I will find another piece of paper to put under, because it is so confusing to look at squares on squares. So I have this white paper here instead. I think that is better. And I know this is the middle and this is the middle. So that is the middle of my square. That is a way to figure it out, but it is totally up to you what kind of pattern you want to do now. But take a pencil and do something, and of course you can make several tries before you decide this is the one I want to sew. But I think I will make a square here like this, and a square here, and a square here, and there will only be a half one here, and again the same here. And it doesn't matter if you not is exactly inside the lines. You can also choose to go this way. I won't do it, but make like a small diamond instead. This is also an option, but yeah, there are thousands of ways you can do this, I think. But I will mark it up and show it to you. So this is how it looks right now, and this is just for knowing where to poke holes. And since I want to use all kinds of these 3 threads here, I think I want to, the frame here, the square frame, I want to do in the biggest or the fattest thread, or the thickest thread. And then I would put the cross here with this very thin thread and see how it looks. And if it for a start. And do I want to do something more? perhaps not, or yeah, I really don't know. Perhaps that is enough with a little cross inside there. And that means I will only be using 2 threads, so perhaps I will take this one instead. Or the other thing you can do is not put the cross in there, but to put the cross in there instead. But to combine them this way here, going diagonal from there to there, but there I have the holes already, so I don't think I need to punch more holes here than 1, 2, 3, 4 holes there. And if I want this cross inside here, I have to poke holes there, there, and there. Yeah. But do I want that, or do I just want to go diagonal instead and nothing inside the crosses? Yeah, that is a tough one. I think I will go with a diagonal and not a cross inside here. Then I only need to poke holes in there where the squares are. I hope you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, I will put these away. I can see my watercolor paper here is so dry now, so we can cut that out. And that means I will take the outer of my ring here. And again, I will trace around it. Like this, and then I will cut it out. And if they're sitting some of your pencil lines, you can always erase them afterwards, or you can draw the circle on the back side of the paper. That was also an option, and cut it out, and then if there is any pencil marks, they will be sitting on the back of your watercolor paper. If you're a really tough lady, you can just start poking holes here in your watercolor paper and start stitching something. That is also an option. But I think I want to do it this way here. So then I will just place it on the top here, like this. So I have about the same amount of space around. And perhaps it is a nice thing to put a little piece of tape somewhere to keep it in the same. Let me see if that's okay. Yeah, I think it is. And I can put it where there is no pencil line. Just a little, and there perhaps, so it won't slide around. And then I will take my poking tool, and I have these 2 poking tools here. One my hubby has made for me, and this one you can make easily yourself. A corkscrew, a darning needle, put it up in the end of the corkscrew, give it a dab of glue, and then you have a nice thing to punch with. And you can put a thinner or as thick as a needle here in as you want. And the thinner needle, the smaller holes, and the nicer the outcome will be. So now I will just start poking holes here. And that way my holes will be very neat on the watercolor paper. And let me see here. But I will punch all my holes and then we are ready to stitch. So done with all these poking holes, and if you don't have such a plastic thing as I have, use a piece of cardboard or an old book or something, or a piece of heavy felt, or yeah, you can use many things. But before I remove this, I will always look on the back side and see if it looks okay, and I don't think I have missed anything. So then I will remove this carefully here, like this. And now I have a poked piece here, and remove that one, and then I will start stitching. And the smaller the needle you can thread, the nicer it will be, because it doesn't look very nice if you have made a big hole and you have a thin thread. Then you can see, yeah, it doesn't look nice. So I will just start up here, and I will let that hang there for a second, and then I will. How you stitch these squares or whatever you're doing is totally up to you. I will just come up and down and up and down, but you can do it in a row, or yeah, there are many ways you can do it. The important thing is that you get the pattern you have drawn on the paper, and the pattern you want. It isn't so obvious what I'm doing here at the top, because there isn't a full square, but in a moment there will be more to look at. But you can see it isn't so difficult to stitch here, because you have poked the hole, pre-poked your holes, so it goes quite smooth. So I will come over here, and this is just a little have I missed something there? Perhaps I have. I think I have missed a little hole here. Yeah, I can't figure that out now, so I will just go back, and then I will start, and I will look at this one here afterwards and see what on earth I have been doing. But it is like doing square stitches. I really like to sew in paper, embroider on paper, and don't drag too hard or pull too hard in your thread. You can easily tear the paper, but I think it's quite nice. But I think I can you can see what it is I'm doing. And now the squares are emerging here. So just go up and down until you have made the pattern. And if you suddenly lost track of what you're doing, you can always look at this one here. And I can see I missed a stitch over here. So I think I will jump up and do that here. While I am in this end of the circle, or this round of the circle. And color-wise, I think it looks nice. Yeah, I think you can see what I'm doing here. So I will continue making all these squares and be done with all the squares. And perhaps you have noticed I was sewing the squares the wrong places. I have put them, so I have had to pick it all up and start all over again. But now they are sitting here as they are on my tin plate. And I don't like big fat knots on the back of this, because there will be a bump when I put it in my book. So I will just cut this off, and then I will take my glue stick and I will just do it like this, and then it will dry up in a short time. But looking at it now, there are many ways I can go further here, but I know I want to try to use this and perhaps also this. So I think for a start I will go diagonal all this way here with this thread and see how that looks. Sorry, sorry, that was my arm and my phone was. So I think I will come up here, and again I will just let this end hang loose. There. And then I will come up here. Down here. And you can already see the difference it makes, that this thread here is much thinner than the other thread. And I think that looks nice. So I will go over here. Yeah, that is a little more tricky where to come up. Sometimes I will have to put my needle through to see where. Must be somewhere here. There it was. Like this. And there it is. Oops, I dropped my needle. Like this. looking like this, but I will do it on the rest of the circle and be back. So done with all the stitching here, and I can see I could perhaps have extended these there, but I can do that later. So I will end up in the round, but it is so funny because I've just stitched and stitched, and at some point I just looked at it and it was sitting this way, and oh my, sometimes life gives you gifts you didn't expect, and I really like it this way here instead of this way. So I have decided I will turn it this way, and I think it looks quite nice right now, but perhaps it could be nice with a cross inside the little diamond shape here, and there's only one thing to figure that out, and that is to try and do it and see if you like it. Again, I will just keep that thread hanging here, and this is the thinnest of my threads I have taken. Oh, and now I'm dangled in my scissor. Yeah. So you can see I have had one plan when I started, and thinking I was doing this, but I changed my mind during the process, and that is okay, because until now I have fulfilled the Dogma rules I have set for myself by using 3 different thicknesses of thread, use the same color in a lighter tone on the watercolor paper, and I have made a circle. So it sounds so much when I was telling you what to do at the beginning, but you can see it isn't very difficult when you get going. So I think this looks really nice. So I will do all the stitches around here, and then I'm done, and I will show it to you again. So I'm done with all the stitching, and if you, like me, don't have, if you don't have different threads, you can use a DMC thread that is made of 6 strands, and then you can divide them up and use perhaps 1 and 3 and 6 and 1 and 3 and 5, or whatever you like to do. So you can see the thicknesses is different here in the 3 areas. The thickest one is there, and then the middle one there, and the cross in the middle is the machine sewing thread here. I think it looks nice that they have different thicknesses, and all in all, you can see it's handmade, because it looks very nice, and I'm very satisfied, but it isn't totally as it was a machine who had made it. So I will just take my book here, and then I will glue it inside here. But before I do that, I will write my, and I'll just use this to keep, so I know I will keep inside when I start writing. So I'll just trace here around that. That's my double-sided tape here. So yeah, that's fine. So this was week 6, and I don't think I will write all the things I have been saying, but one painted, watercolor paper, circle, plus little smaller. Circle in square paper 2. Draw and play patterns on the square paper circle. And poke holes and 3. Use 3 different thicknesses of thread in your color choice. Yeah, that must be that. And of course, sew the pattern. Yeah, this, and perhaps you will experience some of the things, the same thing I did, that you have made it in one direction and boom, it went another direction suddenly. That is always the tricky part here, to get the tape off. Sorry if I'm sniffing. I'm fine, but it's a bad habit, I think. There it is. And I will take my... I think I will stand up so I can... like this. Just squeeze it down. So, this was this week 6 stitched circle show challenge with Dogma Rules, and I think they look nice together, these two things here. I can go a little up here. I will take some close-ups at the end of the video, and I will write the Dogma Rules under more here in the video, and I will also post it in the Facebook group, and there's a link to the Facebook group also under more, and you can be a member. If you're a member there, you will share what you can share what you have been doing, and hopefully a lot of you will like to participate, so we can see a lot of different circles with a lot of different patterns. So if you have been enjoying this and you have learned something, or perhaps some tips and tricks, you can use it in all other kinds of ways, this way of stitching in watercolor paper. Please give my video a thumbs up, and please consider subscribing my little Danish channel, and also hit the notification bell, then you know when the video is up. And all this is totally free. It doesn't cost you a penny or a dime, and it will help my little channel growing, so more people can see what we are doing and perhaps want to attend these things here. So take care and be creative, and bye bye for now.